Hello everybody, welcome back, to the Nidd. So here we are in our med bay respawn area, and you might have already noticed it, and I didn't notice this last time I was recording. Raptor, I believe Raptor mentioned it in the comments, and after I read his comment, I realized that it had been happening, and I hadn't realized that it was new or whatever. I just kind of went with it, but you get noises when you run into things now. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Yeah. So thanks for pointing that out, Raptor. I didn't actually notice that. He was also talking about this here. He had some ideas. So I already fixed this, right? Oop, did I? Okay. I already fixed it so that this is now connected. The stairs are connected on this piece instead of on the edge, and I put one of these dealies back in here. Now with these stairs, I had to make it use one of these. Even just putting it on this block didn't add it to the grid, but when I added that piece there, it did. And I think normal, like vanilla stairs, you just put it, it has to be on a block, and I think it's fine, right? Like, but I don't know if it has to be on like full blocks underneath it or just one, but yeah, that normally does it. But here I actually had to use that piece to make it hook up. He also had a suggestion of maybe putting like one of those walkways, like what are they called in here? Is it a catwalk? Yeah, like one of these just flat plates, like just down in front of it. So I don't know if I haven't tried that. I don't know if that works, if that would have connected it, but since when I put it right on top of this, that didn't work, and when this was on the edge of this block, that didn't work. I'm wondering if it would, but anyhow, this works. So if you come over here, you'll now notice that light works. So this now has power because, and that's the only change I made, is that both of these sides now have this setup on both sides. I don't remember which one I had to do. Maybe it was this side, but yeah, we have power. Yay! Which is great because I actually kind of want to put a little something here for this episode. Not a whole lot, but it's going to be part of what we're actually doing. The other thing that I asked you guys about last episode was putting up a sign here, right? So if we go here and we say medical station, I wanted to put this guy right there, and it won't let me, right? Won't let me do it. So I had a couple of suggestions. I think it was Redstone 1 and Elemental Blaze 79 suggested, they both suggested that what I could do is just maybe cut out one or two of these windows, put a full block there, stick it on there, and then cut the block away and put my stuff back. Now, Elemental Blaze did warn that because this is a light, and lights in the game are like the one thing that if you place it on a block and then you kill the block underneath it, you lose the light along with it. So we might actually lose, I don't know, maybe the center one? So let's take this down. We might actually lose this light if it doesn't go our way. So let's put one of these there. Okay, it still doesn't like that. So if we take this guy out and this guy out, and we put a block back here and back here. 8. Okay, now we can put it on there. And now we get to find out if we're gonna lose the sign. So 1, 2, 3. Poof. It's gone. Okay, so if I just put one of these guys here, can I actually just, no, I still need like all 3 of them. So we're gonna try this once more. We're gonna do it slightly different now though, and we're gonna see if we can still get this to work, because I really like the look of it when it's up against the curved thing like that. I know it won't be on the grid. I was warned that, you know, it's not on the grid, but if you've looked over here at this staircase craziness, like almost all of this crap is on different grids because of the way stairs work, which really is annoying. I wish that could get fixed. Bonk. But yeah, so we put this back here. Now let's take away just one of these. Oh, that was the special one right there. I don't know how much is it taking. Like, it's probably taking a steel plate. I guess every time I'm putting this down, I'm losing a steel plate. But so last thing I want to try is, so if we don't kill that block first, I'm wondering if can we trick it if we say, okay, let's take away these two. Now it's still there, and then we want to put the windows back. Oh, I don't have. Oh yeah, that was from something else. You guys might see what that was all about on Boris's channel. But what do we got here? I want the windows. Now, shoot, what windows do we have? One by one of these guys? No, those are the flat ones. We need these sloped guys. Yeah, so that goes there and that goes there. And then we weld these back up. Okay, now that those are there, I'm fairly obviously sure that this is going to still go away, but let's see. Yep, it's gone. So, I mean, the other suggestion that that I was given by Elemental Blaze as well then is that I could redesign this so that the front windows go like straight up instead of curved like this, and then, you know, connect it in and make it like maybe the front be more of a flat front and the back be more of this rounded kind of idea. And if I really want that big sign there, I might have to do that. But for now, we're just going to leave it the way it is. It's too bad that didn't work. I was kind of hoping that would work, but it doesn't. So we're going to leave it like this for now. I might play with to see what that other design looks like, and if I like it, I'll leave it. If not, this is the way it is. Anyhow, today we are going to do this room. We're going to start in here. Now, let's stand on this block here. Let's put our tools away. Let's get all serious here, guys. So let's have a chat. So this is going to be the biggest engineering project I have ever done in Space Engineers. So be ready. Are you ready? And it might take a couple or a few episodes to finish. So prepare yourselves. All right, with that out of the way, this is the block right here. This is the special block. This is where all the magic is going to happen. But before we get to the magic, you gotta go. Now, I've already looked, and we will get to this room another time, but there's enough room in there to move everything from here over. I think there's actually an empty one over there. So let's just go into here and let's look into, I think there was an empty one. Cargo. So there should be another large cargo container. Yeah, this one's empty. This one is completely empty right now. So let's just go rename it so that I know which one I'm looking at here. I think it was this one. Yeah, so this guy's completely empty. And if I go to this one here, we're gonna name cargo. This is the one we're currently in. We want to basically make this the component one, like that. And then this is going to be the one that, there, cargo to die. Now, if I did that right, if we look in here, this is where all the ore is going. And if we look over here, cargo to die is where everything currently is. So if I now just go, done. I think that's the fastest way to do that. So now it's empty. Everything is preserved in this cargo container. And get my bearings. Bonk. Bonk. I don't even have to say it anymore. It does it for me. So now I should be able to go, bye-bye. How are we doing? Whoa, we're full already. So let's put this stuff away. There we go. And let's just clean this thing out. Like that. Now it's away. Now I'm probably going to want to like rerun this up like so it's kind of more out of the way as well. But now the space is completely cleared out. This is all here. Maybe actually what I should do is run those pipes all the way around the side here and then up into that. So here, why don't I don't want to waste too much time just getting set up here. So I'm gonna break away here and I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are and I've filled this all in. I've ran that wire and yep, there's still some pink over there from the Bandit a long time ago. And I put these glass panels on top because I thought it looked cool. I've seen this idea like a bunch of places. This is not something I've made up. I've seen it tons of places, but I think it looks cool. I like it. And I put the railings up all around, and so the only thing that would need to be done, I guess, is finishing off the, this concrete around it as well. But this is basically now the nice cleaned out room. Everything's out of here. Took us a while. And I'm ready to get started, but before we do, I totally forgot, actually, there was one more comment that Redstone Juan gave me about these lights. So he thought that it might look really cool if we made them like a really light, low blue of some kind. So if I go here and I look at, so I've got all the different rooms. Oh, not hanger. Like if I go to, say, haiku, which one's highlighted? Duct. Yeah, so I think if I just go light, duct, this is why I've named things like this. And now if I select everything that is on a duct, and then let's change it to, so we want more of a blue color. So let's pull the blue up. So that's a very light blue. This is a dark, whoa. I can update. Maybe like a lighter blue. Oh, right. Yeah, Boris told me about this. You're not supposed to actually drag leg. You're supposed to click. I can update. No. Come on. Do it. Well, anyway, this actually looks kind of menacing and cool. So I'll play with that a bit more, but I kind of like the idea of this kind of really bluey light, but maybe a lighter one, not quite so menacing. And he gave the ducks a name. He gave the ducks a name. He called it the, oh, what was the name of it? I have it here. Let me just. The alien air system. Because remember back we were talking about, I think there was comments and stuff and we talking about having like somebody run around, like a little alien run around in these vents. So this is the alien air system trademark. There was a little TM on it too, but I thought that was super cool. So I'll fiddle with these lights. But let's go in here and actually trying to find out how to build maybe a small little alien to run in these ducts. Might be a fun project for that new series I started, the testing grounds, right? So maybe we can play. Oh, there we go. They changed finally. That's kind of cool. In the testing grounds, maybe we'll play with building a little alien guy that can run around in vents. Anyhow, so here we are in our newly opened up room, and what I need to do now is get out the grinder. Oh, I'm already full, so I'm probably gonna hello? Hello? Why can't I get out my grinder? Do I have a grinder? I have a grinder. What? Can I place things? Nope. I can't place anything. I'm gonna go put everything away and I'm gonna relog and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. So I just had to wait. And because actually I went over there to put my stuff away and I couldn't even do that. And I was terrified because I had lots of things in my body and I didn't want to lose it. So I just waited and then when I was able to put it all back, everything seemed to be working again. So I think it was just the lag of the lights, playing with those. It still wasn't done, like doing its thing. So let's head down into here now. Now what we need to do down here is dig a few things out. Because I need this to be able to go down, let's see, what, maybe three down? So let's drill out this a little bit. And I'm not going to be able to pick anything up because I'm actually full, which means I'm also not going to be able to put... Alright. And I know I can right click, but I can't. I can't. I might need this iron someday, and then I'll know that I wasted iron. And then and then I'll be all upset with myself that I could have had the iron, and I didn't have the iron on me because I wasted the iron. Alright, so let's go one here. We're gonna need to dig that out some more. Like so. Like so. Alright. Is it gonna let me put one in here? There's all this floating stuff in the way anyway. And here I was thinking I was being so good and trying to load up with things that we needed so that I could just build, but I forgot. Well, actually here, let's go do something else first then. So that we have to do, but then over, and I went all the way around the wrong way, all the way over here. I think I have to tweak this blue. It's a bit much. This room is going to be our, like, computer core, right? Like our computer core area. Now, that means that I kind of want to, I'm going to want to have like rows of them in here. But for now, what we're going to do is, let's bring this up and let's say, I'm going to need some timer blocks for this project. We're going to need 2 timer blocks. So I'm going to put 2 of them here. And then we're also going to need to put a computer down. So now maybe we go timer, computer, and then we can have more timers and more computers and line them all along like this. So 7, so like this is kind of like the interface to to this room, right? Now I could put the computer looking this way, but if we have rows and rows of them going all the way down, be like kind of like you go into the row, here's the the timers and then the computer core for everything. So let's see, I got everything on me to build this. This will clean out some of my inventory. Let's put these here. There we go. So we've got 2 timer blocks and a computer core, and I think that's all we're going to need for this project. But we're just going to keep filling this room up with more, maybe even go, like raise them up so that when we walk in here, it's like just a room of computers and everything. Maybe expand this out a little bit so that we can get, up one and then walk around that way. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so we have these here, and we have a lot less stuff on us now. So now let's go back over. Oh, actually, while we are here, boom, boom. Let's get a bit of power, and I'll take some tea. All right, and good on the power. Let's cross over to here, and let's finish building or picking up all this junk. Arg. Okay. I'm sorry, this has been much choppier than I was hoping that it was going to be. So let me clean that out, get this filled in and the basic blocks in there, and I'll be right back. And this hopefully should be the last cut in this episode. So I apologize for all the choppiness. Now, in an effort to not have any more choppiness in this video, and also to be able to get it finished in a decent amount of time, I went ahead and I built up the rest of these blocks and I've configured them. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what I've built. I'm going to demo it to you, how it works. And then I'll go through and kind of explain it a little bit for you, if you hope you want that. And then I'm going to leave you with a bit of a guessing game. So I added a display on here. Now this is purely aesthetical at the moment. I really do wish that these displays actually would display on them the stuff that's in them, like right on here. Maybe that'll come in the future. But yeah, so I added the display. I built these. I think these were all built up before. So we got we got a programmable block, 2 timers, and a display over there. And then we come over here, and you will see a button panel, and I've wired up a couple of functions on there. And if we go down here, you will see 2 gravity generators. They are currently off. So if we look at the first one, well, actually, why don't we, before we go through the explanation of how this all works, why don't I show you what it does? All right. So you walk up and you stand on the clearly marked block, and then you hit this button and watch the gravity. And it's gonna fling me out. Whoop. Right, and now I'm up here and my jetpack comes on and I've been just tossed out of the base, right? Now if I fly back down to this, you can see I've got this turned on so you can see where the field is, right? If I fly back into this field, you're gonna see that the gravity now, if I turn my jetpack off, I'm actually flying back down into this hole. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay, that flung me a little bit faster than I expected. I never actually tested this in survival. So, let's go heal up. I guess I should maybe fling myself a little bit less harmfully than that. Wow, I lost 80% health. So yeah, let's heal back up. And come on. There we go. Okay, let's head back over. So now you can see here is the gravity field, and you'll notice that there's a gravity field that goes up to about right here where the base ends, and then there's another gravity field that goes all the way up to the top there. So now let's kind of walk you through what's going on here. Oh, the other button, basically all this does is resets the system. So if I click this, gravity fields go away, my normal gravity in here is back, right? So that's what these 2 buttons do. And it's done with everything you see here. So we've got 2 gravity generators, and we've got 1 programmable block, 2 timers, and a display, and a button panel, right? So first and foremost, let's take a look. If we just maybe stand here, and we look at what's going on. So if I just type in flinger, this should be pretty much everything in the system. Ignore the lights, I guess. But so the button panel, what it's doing is it's starting the program, it's running the program in the programmable block when I press that button. When I press this other button, it's just running a timer, which is the flinger station block. So if I look at the flinger station block, what it does is it basically just takes the 2, these are the 2 gravity generators that I'm standing on, they're right below me. So it turns off the canceller, so the flinger canceller, and it turns off the flinger itself, right? So these 2 guys down here. So this guy here is the canceller. So if I just turn this guy on all by its lonesome, and we go up, you're gonna see this is the one that basically goes up to just the top of the base. Now, if I was to turn on, let's see here. If I go to Betsy and If we look at the gravity generator for the main level, so this is the main level of the base, let's turn him on this as well. You'll see that in here we've got the gravity for the whole station. I'm not seeing it. Why don't I see it? Anyway, it lines up with the top of that. I don't know why. I must have done something wrong there. Oh, Betsy. Maybe I picked the wrong gravity generator. Main level. Show on HUD. Okay, whatever. But its height and the height of the... Let's just go back to all the flinger stuff. Counselor... Well, it goes up to 50, so it goes a little higher. Whatever. Basically, what the idea of this here is you'll see that if I go down here, and you can see right now I've got 1 gravity, right? If I walk into this, I've got no gravity. Right, so it's basically inside of this area, I've canceled out all of the base's gravity. Right, so that's what that first... Whoop. Go down. Go down. That's what this first guy does. So let's turn him off. So that's why he's called the canceller, right? So let's turn him off. Basically, he just cancels out the gravity of the base. And then this one is the flinger. So all this one is it's set... because it's upside down, it also has to have its acceleration reversed. But if we turn this guy on, you'll see what it does is it's the one that makes this big long tunnel. Now you see here, I've got gravity of 1.2 going up, which is way too fast. Like if I, oh sorry, going down. Right, I got gravity of 1.2 going down. And if we turned on the, I think this is backwards at the moment. So let's reset this. Like if I click both of these, yeah, I'm going up again. And if I click this, I go down. So yeah, so basically the canceller is canceling out the gravity in here, and then the flinger, oh, because I reversed the gravity. The flinger is actually, when it's in fling mode, it shoots you up, and when it's in retrieve mode, it pulls you down, right? So that's what the programmable block is going to be doing, is flipping that guy's gravity around. Oops, wow. All right, so that's what this setup is all about here. If we head on over here, what are all these guys for, right? So we've got 2 timer blocks, and we've got a display, and we've got a computer. So in the program itself, this is the program that runs the... Basically, the purpose of this is literally to reverse the gravity of the field of that 1 gravity generator. I can go in here in a minute, but it's crazy. And let's go flinger. So we've got a timer block, which is flinger station, right? So if we look at this guy, that was the one we were showing you before, right? It turns, basically, it turns off the gravity system, right? So it just turns off the canceller, and it turns off the flinger. And the other guy, this recursive guy, all this guy does is it literally just calls the program again. That's why I called it a recursive. So basically this is just causing a recursive loop and calls the program back. Now what the program does, oh, and the last thing is this here is the display. Now I'm abusing this because in the game there is really no way to get to allow you to kind of like log information anywhere and see what's going on and debug what you're doing, right? So I just basically took this program block, or sorry, this display block, and I'm just renaming this thing. So it gives me a bunch of, this is all my debugger information, right? So this is the number of times the recursive block ran. This is the number of times, or this is the current gravity, right? So 0.2 was the current gravity when the program started, or the last time it ran, what the program, or what the gravity was, the target gravity, what I wanted it to be, right? The mode it was in, right, to bring back or to fling out, and that must be some other debugging information I threw onto the end. But basically that's what this was telling me, right? So if I was to go into the, say, this recursive timer, and let's just disable this for now. And then I go to the program block and I run it, right? You'll see that this changes. So now it's like, how many times did it run? what was the current gravity, what did it change to. I can run this again. You see that it's flipping back and forth, right? So it's reversing the gravity on this thing back and forth. Yeah, so, and it's done over there now. Oh yeah, because there was, right, that's the last bit about the timer. You'll see this actually has a delay of 10 seconds. So the way that so if we turn this back, set up actions, and let's just go run this guy again. Basically what's going on here is, so if I go into the programming block, when this guy is run, it will reverse the gravity on, it'll basically, what it does is it turns these two guys on and it reverses the gravity of the flinger, right? So right now it's pulling you down. When you hit the button, it reverses this gravity to go up, like out, and turns these two things on, which means it cancels it out, and now you have an upward momentum of 0.2, and it flings you out. Then after 10 seconds, so when I call the recursive block, I'm doing it quickly at first, and then once it's in fling mode and it's sending you out, when I call the recursive block again, instead of triggering it, I call the start, which means that it'll take 10 seconds for it to run the last time. And when it runs the last time, it basically reverses it back around so that it takes you back down into retrieve mode, where it turns the gravity back around to pull you down, right? So that when I went back into that field, it pulled me down. So I can give you a quick look at what's in here. Basically, I've got a bunch of constants up here for all of this information or things that we do. And then I got the main function in here, which is grabbing the blocks, right? So grab the gravity blocks and get a reference to them. Starts the number of times run. I grab what the current gravity is. I log it out. Then if I'm in fling mode and the current gravity is less than what I want it to be, and I'm not in a recursive loop for too long, it'll reverse the acceleration, basically set the acceleration to the target, and then call the trigger now to call it again, right? Next time it comes in, it should come down into this area here, changes it basically, so it turns on these guys to fling you out, and then changes the mode, right? And then calls itself again, but now it calls the start, right? And when the start comes back in, now we're in retrieve or bring back mode. It then makes sure you know, what gravity are we in, flip the gravity around, then basically reset all the variables, and you're done, right? Now that's basically the guts of the application here. And then down here I've got some helper classes that I've created, like to encapsulate the timer block and make sure that I don't have null references to anything, make sure that I've got a good thing, right, going on. And then a bunch of methods that I've written for, you know, just making sure that I have the block that I actually need, and then call the action that I need to call on it. So I've got a timer block with all of the stuff I need to do, and I've got a gravity generator block with all of the stuff I need to do in here as well, right? And there's a lot of junk in here. And I also have a logger. Basically, this is my logger class that allows me to append all those messages over time, and then when it's done, it outputs it and overwrites the name of the block, right? So that's basically what all of this jazz is. Now, there's a lot of crap in here, a lot to go over. I could probably do a whole episode just on that if you guys were interested in how that all works. But basically, it's programming, right? So that's how that all works. And the end result, and it's probably more complicated than it needs to be, but the end result is basically that we have this guy over here. This is my first run at this. There's always many iterations that can happen. I always like to kind of just get something working and then, you know, make it better. So if you guys have a way to make it better, let me know. The reason I'm using a combination of timer blocks and programming blocks is because right now in the game, basically the programming block, all it can do is run stuff that you could do in a timer block. But it allows you to, say, run a bunch of stuff at the same, like do a bunch of stuff, right? And maybe, as you can see there, I'm doing some interesting things around reversing the gravity, because there's no built-in function for that. It's like a bunch of functions, right? So that's how it works, and that's why I've chosen those. I didn't figure I could have done it all with programming blocks if I wanted, but there's no point, right? The timer blocks can do that other stuff just fine, and the recursive block is required. Actually, I probably should mention that. The reason I'm doing the recursive is because when you call the methods inside of the program, the game needs to tick before it updates the block. So once you flip the gravity around and reverse the gravity, and then you get the value right after that, it's still not updated. So I need to actually let the program kind of update itself first. So I call the recursive timer to basically say, okay, come back around and then call me again, right? And at that point, the value is correct. I can check that the value is what I want it to be and then keep going. So that's how that all works. Now, the last thing I want to do, yeah, we're running along here. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about with this is, so I want you guys to guess. What do you think this is for? So basically, right, I come here, this resets the system. When I click this, it flings me out. But remember that if I come back into the field 10 seconds later, it pulls me back in. Yeah, so. Oh. There we go. Let me know what you think this is all for, and I'll talk to you next time.